Hello again, guys. It's the Reginald with more Stanley Parable. So let's go ahead and pick off where we were, in a sense. Resume. The end is never the end, which is loading. That can really be, I guess.
This is the story.
In my mind, it's very difficult to describe the game.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What
could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
like
missed a memo.
possibilities for this game. I mean, there's so many and yet so little.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Screw it. Let's save the world this time.
Yet there was not
no
a
one's
single
here.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
See if I can remember the code this time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Okay, that's pretty great.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
That's pretty great. Oh, wait, this one. I don't have a flashlight though. Okay, I guess I can just go there just for the sake of going there. I found a button. Loading, loading, loading. I had some calming and rejuvenating New Age music.
Descending deeper into the building,
I guess that's
Stanley
not the case.
realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
A lot of these are repeating, actually. Well, I don't expect them to have 500 different ones, but still.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Here we go. Throwing the ring into mortar right now. Sacrificing the power for the good and betterment of humanity.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Somewhere right over there.
Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to
This is
feel.
the part where it turns out it's all we
Whatever
wanted
life
Portal
he
2
is,
experiment.
it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps
Oh
the
my
only
god, these
thing
are
worth
terribly
knowing.
rendered.
Stanley stepped through the open door.
God, this looks like crap. Oh, whatever.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path
Liberation.
before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, good for Stanley. What's that then?
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nope.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley
not?
knew it perfectly well.
Yes.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I suppose.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Well, I can't jump, so this should be interesting.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Oh, I can.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I'm helping.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's try that again, but with slightly less death. Just a little bit. I remember these blinds being here. I'm so observant.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he
Stanley
wanted to
seemed
stop
good.
by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
He just wants a soda.
Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room.
Cutting
But
off.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No. Trees.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible
Hey,
he wasn't
planning.
fired years ago.
Bet they don't have the mind control room with those plans.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten
I
off
got
on the
penalty for
wrong
jumping off
foot
the,
here. I'm not your enemy,
thing.
really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
This does not look edgy at all.
That's her, Stanley.
What the
You
heck?
need to be the one to do this,
That
to
is
reach
so
out to
honest.
her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
And plug it.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well,
I
I
do
won't
not
have that
grasp
kind
the
of risk on
severity
my
of any
watch.
situation.
I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Well, you know, it's like the old saying goes, give man a
Excellent.
fire, he'll be warm for
Making
an hour.
choices on a regular basis
I don't
is
get a
the
fire
best
hose warm for
part
us
to
to
a
slave.
healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember
I won't.
that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your
Yes,
instructor
please.
will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
What the heck?
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please. Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story.
Yes,
that story would make no sense
would
at
be
all.
horrible.
We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Gee, it's a good thing I had the fencer. I could have, I'd have fallen off somehow. Okay. Better stop lying. This is a no lying zone. I wonder how they know if you're lying though. Maybe they'll ask you.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Oh. Can I go back this way? Can't. Okay, fine. Stupid narrative contradiction. No.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? Do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Oh. This is not really blue. What the heck?
Oh! I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
That's fair.
Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
Would
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Guess I'll listen.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Wow, they're gonna make me make the right choices. Let's take a whole game about choices and eliminate the second choices. Look, they're near the executive bathroom anymore. It's just a door. This makes me sad.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Crap, what was it? It was like... Oh, well, I probably shouldn't pay attention to that. I honestly thought I was just gonna...
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115. I don't think Stanley can talk, bro. Night Shark 115.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you?
Night Shark
Please
115.
speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Well, there appears to be a bit of a problem.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right.
This game is so deep.
What's the right thing to do? Take as much time as you need. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What's even left to do? Oh, I know.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
We're gonna go underground.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
That's okay. I don't like following directions. I'm a rebel.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
All of the directions.
From here, it's, Oh, no, it's to the right. My mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Or did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or...
I didn't touch
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Look, this one just goes in one big loop. What's this over here? I would love to see a map of this. How absolutely ludicrous it must be. This one.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Oh, I already did that one, didn't I?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I have a plan.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story.
How?
Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
This is impossible.
Now
is the slaughterhouse.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yes.
Congratulations!
Yes.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
I'm so happy.
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some
That's
people
fair.
win fair and square, and
I
this
don't.
was not one of those situations.
I did the done
Okay?
good.
I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
No, but no.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there?
Yep.
Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving
run on the
forward,
wall,
are
run
we
on the
implying a
engine, guys,
journey
let me jump.
such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
It's a fern.
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
That's a nice fern.
Wait,
Hold it.
what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh,
I'm gonna be
this
a
all
plant.
sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Can I bring the plant with me? I cannot bring my plant with me. This makes me sad. Oh. Continue onward to victory.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you
This is
want our story to
impossible.
be?
What is
Go
this?
wild.
What
Use
is
your
this?
imagination.
What- okay.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley,
It's helping.
I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
It's helping. So in my story, I'm thinking what happens is that there's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, right? And so what happens is that the Oompa Loompas have an uprising, and they take Willy Wonka hostage, right? So then one of the Oompa Loompas who's not part of the uprising gets a call, calls the police guys, and then they come over and they just unload the Oompa Loompas. And so then after that, they take off Willy Wonka's bindings and they check around like the factory, and then they find out that Willy Wonka's making meth, so he gets arrested too. Now, moving on.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that is...
Wow, my spelling sucks.
Turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right,
this was the guy from the Risk of Rain video again.
Right door,
He's the guy but with the pizza slices. I'm not sure what his problem is.
Yes,
I don't even
then
have
by
pizza
all
slices.
accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall.
Nonsense philosophy
Well,
music, I like
who
it.
consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
The game restarts on.
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know?
For a long time, Stanley just
Will
dies.
someone come for us? Will something happen?
Oh, they both go to the same place.
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination
After a
or the
long
journey.
time,
Though they're always saying
Stanley
that life is
dies.
about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right
his
now.
chair.
We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
What the crap?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wonder if this is still part of the confusion ending.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I guess the confusion ending's finally over.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew
So
it
I wanna
perfectly
go?
well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Stop it.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling
Because they
went
have a coffee
away,
machine.
and he felt sad again. Then it came back, and lingered for a minute or two. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
That's true.
Look, Stanley,
I
I
should
think
play
perhaps
Caps
we've
the
gotten
minigame.
off on
I
the
should
wrong
play Caps
foot
the minigame
here.
with my face.
I'm not your
Like
enemy,
my
really,
game.
I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, Stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
Giant
to put your
monster in
work
the
aside.
darkness.
To let her back into your life. She's been
that's
waiting.
fine.
That's her, Stanley.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd
No.
want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
What?
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
That's just rude.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Oh, I get it. I get what they're doing. What happens if I push 4? I'm gonna push 4. I guess I'm pushing 3.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
I just pressed 3.
But in his
Take your
mind,
stupid brain.
in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic
Choices and
discoveries
choices and
of new
choices and more
lands.
choices.
It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had
Was
suddenly
gone.
vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
I don't know how I feel about not questioning anything. Whatever, why not? Screw it.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I
Dead Stanley. So, I think this concludes the Stanley Parable of choices made and choices not made over and over again, with TVs and lines and confusions and deep and philosophical.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Philosophy
Stanley
and
decided
whatnot.
to go to the meeting room.
So,
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That being said, keep in mind that you are all one cog in a bigger scheme or something. I don't know. Take something away from this. Anyways, this is Reginald Opsopopsilophagus signing off yet again from the Stanley Parable. Because everything has a choice, be it 2 doors, yes or no.
When Stanley
It
came
all
to a set of
begins
2
and all
open
ends
doors, he entered the door on his
with a
left.
choice.